According to all aerodynamic laws, the bumblebee cannot fly because its body weight is not in the right proportion to its wingspan. But ignoring these laws, the bee flies anyway.
I mean, if you're going to be successful and you're going to have a chance to be successful, you have to do some of the same things.
Just take action, keep doing it, keep doing what you're doing, keep moving forward. And actually pushing the edges showed me that coming back to the center is a blessing.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it.
Impossible is nothing to somebody that tries. Everything that someone said was impossible has happened.
Understanding that you want it bad, so you're willing to put into work and do things you don't want to do, it's what makes you have that confidence that you know how to push through. And the mentality that I'm the type of dude to get shit done. Like, I'm not gonna waste my day just sitting around a fucking hotel room. No, I'm gonna go to work. Do more hard shit makes you do more hard shit.
Yeah. Second by second, you lose the opportunity to become the person you want to be.
You gotta just stay locked in and stay focused. And as long as you know what's true, people are always gonna say something. Always, they're gonna try to have some type of narrative or whatnot, but as long as you know what's real, I think that's what can help you keep your sanity.
You have to believe in yourself. Once you receive that level of confidence, and it's practiced properly, it will surpass a genius. There's nothing more supreme than confidence. Confidence breeds success, and success breeds confidence. Applied properly, you're inconquerable.
You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is a part of the process. People who never fail, never try. You have to fail. You got to get it wrong to get it right. You learn nothing from winning. You only learn from your failures, because now you know what not to do.
In the end, you have to leave yourself to understand the value of yourself. You have to lose stuff before you realize that all the stuff that you're losing is ephemeral and transitory. It's not yours. You're enough. You're always enough. But you've got to somehow prostitute yourself before you realize your own value. That is the essence of all stories.
It all starts with who you are. Who you are is more important than what you do. How high you jump, how fast you run, because who you are is your character. And your character is an accumulation of your thoughts, your habits, and your priorities on a day-to-day basis. And the choices you make you who you are.
Your life is a book. Your life is a book. Your life got chapters. Each chapter in your life is a punctuation, whether it's a positive or a negative. And before you move on to that next chapter, you got a decision to make if I'm going to correct what I did in the chapter before. Ultimately, when you get to the end of that book, it's written by you. So how it ends, you wrote it.
But you cannot erase the work ethic part. There is no getting around. Ain't no elevator to the top. You got to take the stairs. The elevator don't go to the top, man. Not in the world of success. You gotta take the stairs. Y'all gotta start getting gritty, man. I hate it when I see young people wasting their time, just sitting around in this world that's been created for you, that everything is instant.
What do you want in your life? We have so much influence coming at us that we are so lost. We don't know what we want to do because we don't spend enough time with ourselves.
You're doing this for you. After a certain level of material comfort, the only person that you need to do this thing for is you.
If you do not have clear goals for your life, you are condemned forever to work for those who do.
Everyone falls the first time. Your first business is very unlikely to be your last business. The first product you have will be a product that you'll be embarrassed of years from now. But what's important,
if you didn't withdraw in fear from everything that life threw at you, who could you become?
You've already achieved goals you said would make you happy. You've already achieved goals you said would make you happy. How can you presume that your happiness sits on the next side of the next set of goals, given that right now you are on the other side of your last set of goals?
You see, in life it's very simple. Either you are working toward the accomplishment of your goals, or you're working toward the accomplishment of other people's goals.
You don't make men safe by making them weak. In fact, they're much more dangerous when they're weak, because they'll stab you in the back when they get the chance, or take advantage of you when they get the chance. You make men safe by making them strong, and then by making sure that they're disciplined. It's the men that have the most aggressive and fearless temperaments that can be the best men, but it's like having a very powerful dog. You better discipline it, because otherwise it's going to be a monster.
When it comes to desiring a life, looking at, okay, what is it that I want? You need to be very, very careful about what the process is in order to get the outcome that you want. Because if you want the outcome, but you're not prepared to live the life needed to get it, you're just asking for disappointment.
There's more at stake today than in any story ever told. And how lucky you are that you're here and you're you. And how lucky we are that you're here and you're you. This is your life. This is your moment, and it is all down to you. Ready, player one? Your game begins now.
The decision to leave Baltimore, which is where I was from, to quit that path, to decide to start a business of my own, was still to this day the hardest thing I've ever done. By far, all the things we've been through to build what we have, the hardest decision was taking the leap. For me, it was actually confronting the fact that I didn't want to be alive anymore, which was the thing that gave me enough courage, or whatever you want to call it, to actually make the decision to leave home.
And so nothing is easy. It sucks, but you have a choice to make. Do you want to sit down and go back to that guy you once were? No. So this is what it takes. It takes that misunderstanding of people, and they'll never get it because they were never David Goggins.
I'd rather go too far than not far enough. The only reward that you get from taking it easy is the fact that in the moment, it's easier. But if you want results, and then you basically just catch yourself slacking off and don't do anything about it, then it kind of sounds like you don't really want those results.
The fact that everyone looks like an overnight success means that the 10 years where they sucked, no one saw. And so the fear that you have about people noticing the fact that you fail is ridiculous because they're barely going to notice when you succeed.
If every time someone asks you a question, you try to say the right answer, your entire life is a test. And when did you have the most anxiety in grammar school and high school?
No question.
On test day.
No question.
So your entire life become this test. I ain't trying to say the right answer. I am just doing what I feel. My mama said trying is failing. There is no ifs, woulds, coulds, shoulds. It just is, and we just are.
Being honest with where you stand and how you feel, it's really giving another person an option and opportunity to be as honest with you. And whatever your fear of that is, of that outcome, is never really as big as what you make it up to be. Tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Time will move on. You know, you will move past it. And if tomorrow never comes, at least you can know that you said what you needed to say.
Ultimately, happiness comes down to choosing between the discomfort of becoming aware of our mental afflictions and the discomfort of becoming ruled by them.
If you don't like their life, don't listen to what they say. Like, don't take their advice if you don't like what you see. If everyone around you has a life you don't want, then don't listen to any of their advice. You have to put blinders on because there is a period of time where you're not going to be successful enough for the next tier of friends, but you're too different from the friends that you used to have. And so that middle path is very lonely. But the good thing about loneliness is you've got time. And right now, time's what you need because you got to learn stuff. You got to get the skills so you can start trading that for more and more money. And then you can take the money and trade that for more money. But in the beginning, you just have time. And that's what you have to spend.
Yeah, well, then you just have to look at yourself harder and find the nemesis because it's there all the time, right? I mean, there's always parts of yourself that you can overcome. You know, if you need something to grapple with, and you probably do, you can find that. You just look inside, you'll find something to grapple with. You know, inadequacy, weakness, susceptibility to temptation, narcissism, pride, envy, revenge, resentment, frustration, lack of faith, all of that.
The heaviest things in life aren't iron and gold, but unmade decisions. The reason you are stressed is that you have decisions to make and you're not making them.
The best way to contend with problems, with issues, with adversity is action, is by taking action. The more you sit and the more you wait and the more time you spend with that adversity, with the upper hand inside your head, the worse it's gonna get. Taking action, making something happen. It doesn't have to be huge, but if you say, hey, listen, this is what happened, didn't go the way we wanted it to, we're gonna get our gear back on, we're gonna go back out. And it's in your personal life too. You know, something doesn't go the way you wanted it to go, you didn't get the job you wanted, you didn't get the hire, you didn't get the promotion, you can go home and sit there and dwell on it. That's not getting you any progress. Or you say, okay, you know what? Let me do a quick analysis. Why didn't I get that promotion? What do I need? Let me look into how do I get to jump through that gate so next time I will get the promotion. And you start taking action.
What would I do if I weren't afraid? And what would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? And the idea that I will never wish for fewer epic stories at the end of my life. And I've never regretted failures. I've always regretted things that I didn't try. And so just along those lines of trying to create more bias internally towards action rather than inaction and normalizing consequences of failure as we said earlier, win or learn.
Romans 8:18, the pain of what you're feeling is nothing compared to the joy that's coming. The reality is that's life, isn't it? No matter what shit situation happens, something good's coming.
It's hard. It's frustrating. There's things that are going to happen. You're going to get punched in the face. You're going to have breakups. You're going to have people let you down. You're going to have people steal from you. You're going to have friends let you down. You're going to be embarrassed. You're going to make mistakes. And everybody's going to see it and laugh at you. All of these things are going to happen. You have to build yourself into someone who can continue to execute. And if you can do that, it doesn't matter what's happening around you.
You just do the work and you get there. The human mind, the human body, the human psyche is so pliable. You can literally become anyone and anything. Multiply that over time and experience, and don't quit even when it sucks. The doubt of 1,000 people on me is less dangerous than if I had self-doubt.
Don't do things just because you think you're going to get something for it. That's not why we do things.
Yeah.
Do what's interesting to you. Follow what's interesting. We can't predict the outcome. We can never predict the outcome. Follow your own inner guide.
But one of the main reasons that people don't get what they want is because they don't actually figure out what it is. And the probability that you're going to get what would be good for you, let's say, which would even be better than what you want, right? Because, you know, you might be wrong about what you want easily. But maybe you could get what would really be good for you. Well, why don't you? Well, because you don't try. You don't think, okay, here's what I would like if I could have it. Imagine that you were taking care of yourself like you were someone you actually cared for. And then you thought, okay, I'm caring for this person. I would like things to go as well for them as possible. What would their life have to be like in order for that to be the case? Well, people don't do that. They don't sit down and think, all right, you know, let's figure it out. You've got a life. It's hard, obviously. It's like 3 years from now, you can have what you need.
If you think about the difference between winners and losers, winners define themselves by what they made happen, and losers define themselves by what happened to them. And the difficult part of the lonely chapter is that the Rocky cutscene lasts 90 seconds in the movie and lasts 5 years in reality.
With no promise of it ever ending. No guarantee of glory.
The mindset of a winner, which is a winner does more than expected every single time, no matter how they feel, no matter the circumstances. A winner shows up 10x times more than the average person. A winner has these unreasonable expectations of himself. A winner knows that he's destined for greatness. And no matter how many people around him tell him to slow down, be careful, watch out, that's too risky. You don't have the genetics, the DNA, the money, the mind, the brain power for that. A winner locks onto their fucking goals and keeps going. That's what the winner does.
I don't look at failure as failure. I look at failure as your first, second, third, fourth, fifth attempt. I look at them as attempts. I don't look at anything as failure. Because when you're going to try to do something, not trying is failure. But when you're able to go out there, there is no failure.
Choosing the plan isn't hard. Doing the plan isn't hard. Sticking to the plan is hard.
The hard part about the plan is sticking to the plan. Like, the plan wasn't bad. Your first plan was good because it's easy to go say, I'm going to work out 3 days a week for the next year. A mediocre plan that's stuck to always outperforms an amazing and perfect plan that you never stick with to begin with. You have to stick it out long enough that you get that first carrot, you get that first cookie, and then all of a sudden, everything that you did to get there, you're like, oh, more of that will get me more cookies.
Go after your dreams. I never compromised that. I never allowed anybody to tell me what I was capable of accomplishing. I never let anybody tell me that I can't do. Right? I went after it. If you want to accomplish something or do something that a lot of people think is difficult to accomplish, you have to put all your eggs in one basket, and there's no compromise.
The man to beat me haven't been born yet. I'll be champion. I can stay in the ring 10 more years, easy, I figure.
The best revenge is to be undeniable. People could talk all that shit, but when you're undeniable, they got to give it up.
They got to deal with it.
They got to give it up. And I think that's probably the case in everything in life, is to be undeniable.
We can't mine the few crazy, absolutely insane, obsessed people that are not going to slow down. We will never fully know your reason until maybe your biography is written or you write your memoir and you open up and tell us what the real driver is. Because some of the reasons we're not going to tell the world about it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the small percentage of people that are watching this right now, hey, just want you to know your future looks bright. You're going to experience some crazy moments, but you don't know how to stop, which means eventually we're going to find out about you and read about you. And I can't wait to read your story one day. That's to the few. By the way, it's not even 1%. It's even smaller than 1%. It's a very, very small community of people.
Because when you're trying to do something that's bigger than you, whatever you are, if that's your biggest thing, that's how your mindset needs to go into everything. So I don't look at it as failure is a big word, like that gets people down and shit. We give so much power to words. I take the power right away. I didn't feel shit.
The first question is, what is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
Believe in yourself.
Second question, what is the worst advice you've ever heard or received?
It can't be done.